on to you Leos out here. A shorty told me that they like a 6 foot and higher type of guy. I said, well, I'm 5'7". She said, see, you're not tall enough. I said, and I'm okay with that. Anyway, the Three of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and then you Leos have the King of Pentacles. um, there's a sense of you Leos needing to let go of a grudge, because the Three of Cups, the Queen of Swords, there's a sense of like, you think that if people who messed with you, play games with you, ever come back and try to essentially make peace with you or whatever, you're gonna tell them no, buzz off, and you may end up being a little bit more harsh. My suggestion to you Leos is that you ain't got to really talk to them. You don't really have to socialize with them. Anybody that betrays you right now, that gets on your bad side because they kind of going out of their way to betray you, leave that alone. To be honest with you, sometimes it's best for you to be impartial and be more scientific and not necessarily get so emotionally involved. Obviously, we're not robots. Obviously, I have emotions, obviously. But especially if you are able to keep calm, right? Then stay calm. Keep calm. Just stay calm, because regardless of the who or the what, whoever may be talking to you or may try to come back and apologize, if you think that that's going to happen, just you just don't have to pay attention to them whatsoever. The King of Pentacles, because you have too much to do anyway. You've got a life ahead of you still that you have to live. And the King of Pentacles, you have to focus on what's in front of you, what's available to you, I should say. Not necessarily only what's in front of you, but what is available to you, and just enjoy the life that you have, right? What's done is in the past. People betrayed you. They gave you a hard time. You can't take them seriously at this point. And essentially you've won, right? Because they understand the value that you Leos brought to the table. It's a matter of just being patient at this current point in time, focusing on what you Leos have to do. The Two of Cups and the Two of Wands, regardless of whether it is romantically or the job, right? Or the career or whatever. This goes for either or. You have to have a work-life balance as well. There's a sense of you Leos have to organize certain elements of your life, work/life, both of those two things. And to where, what is a good mix for you, right? Is it 50-50? Is it the work can have a little bit more priority? Not much, like a 60-40 split. Yeah, the work still has the majority of your life and your dedication, but not so much to the point where you can't do anything ever, right? And that you're constantly running the hamster wheel, turning the wheel. Son, that wind outside is blowing something wild, fam. It's rattling the trees. It's blowing the trees. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here with that is, but what is the split gonna look like? Is it 50-50? Soon as it's over, I'll get this done tomorrow. Is it 60-40? Right? The work is 60. Is it your life 60 and the work is 40? Right? What is your personal split? You have the Hermit, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. You Leos want to just be left alone. You want things to be as calm as they possibly can be. You want things to go back to being good again. But the Hanged Man, you have to actually handle some problems. There's some things that you have to fix that's going on in you Leos' life right now where it's not going to be an immediate fix. You Leos will have to actually address certain situations. Whenever it is that I get cards like, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, the Hanged Man, the Devil card, stuff like that, it usually means some form of difficulty that is going on in you Leos' life. Well, not specifically for Leo, but I mean like any of the zodiac signs that I'm reading for, right? It usually means some sort of difficulty that's going on in your life that you have to actually address, organize, and learn to actually be disciplined, right? Time and patience. Because, again, the Hanged Man just represents you have to allow things to just play out, relax. Again, find that balance between work and life, right? That balance. And yes, the work is a part of your life, but I mean, not work, right? Not your job. You have to find that kind of balance where, you're getting rest, you're getting to the job, you have a social life, you enjoy your life, right? Today I ate Chinese food. Haven't had Chinese food in, I don't even know. I haven't had Chinese food in about, I don't even want to lie, probably like 3 years. Prior to that, I ain't have, no. I'm talking about like Chinese food that I remember specifically. That was like 3 years ago. Last time prior to that, the last time I probably had Chinese food or whatever was probably like 5 or 6 years before that. You dig what I'm saying? Like just the simple things like that, like old-fashioned Chinese food as I remember it back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Not this fancy stuff. Not that I have a problem with it, but I like the old-fashioned Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I remember, back in the 90s, when Belly was a thing, the movie Belly with Nas and DMX was a thing. With Method Man and everything like that. In a Chinese spot, eating the Chinese food with the Timbs on, New York stuff. If you're from New York, you know what I'm talking about. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you have to find that work-life balance. And just be patient. Whatever scenario you Leos got going on right now, Eight of Wands, whatever scenario that you Leos got going on now that is getting in the way, some work, some sort of finances, stuff like this, right? Priorities, right? Some sort of responsibility and stuff like that. You have to be patient with that. Now, I'm not saying sit down and do nothing. I ain't say all that. You still have responsibilities, but I mean, be patient with it. It's not necessarily going to get resolved. All of it is not going to get resolved immediately. Now, it is going to get resolved, but it's not just going to get resolved in 24 hours. So, because some of you Leos are starting to see the progress as it is that we speak. But again, this is not a one-day, 24-hour project. This is a couple of weeks, couple of months project, right? And then Thanksgiving is coming up, holidays as far as like Christmas and all of that, New Year's, right? It's coming up and all of that stuff. So you got to understand that more than likely, is depending on if you can get away with it. Like right now during November is like kind of really like the last, before Thanksgiving is really kind of like the last projects that you want to do around this time, because people get swapped with just holiday cheer and family coming over around the holidays, right? Especially if you live in the States, or not necessarily even in the States, but especially if you live in a country that celebrates that type of stuff, right? So my transparent answer to you is, if you really can't get some of your issues figured out, my dear Leos, within, I want to say within the next, and we're in November right now, So Thanksgiving is literally wrapped around the corner. Thanksgiving is coming up very soon. Oh wow. If you can't get it figured out, I want to say between now and like the 20th, and get it done, right? Because remember, the Thanksgiving is always the last Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, of the month, if I'm not mistaken. So if you can't get your story straight between now and before Thanksgiving, I am honestly gonna say that you're probably not gonna get your story fixed until next year, after New Year's, that is, because the system gets so backlogged and caught up with like paperwork around this time. And see, the thing is that then you have the Six of Pentacles, which represents that. So don't rush anything, okay? You know, don't rush anything. The Six of Pentacles, you wish that it was you. You Leos would want things to be a little bit more like fast, but like I said before, do not rush it. I don't suggest you Leos rush it. If you cannot get it, I'm talking about if you cannot get some of your projects where you got some issues that you are figuring out that you need to actually go handle. If you can't get it handled, where it's paperwork or something like that, or some sort of something like that, some piece of document. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all ain't dumb. Some piece of documentation, something like that between now and I want to say the 20th, which is a week. Usually, like I said before, before Thanksgiving or whatever, you might as well just not even expect the paperwork to actually be handled. So stuff like that. So just give it time, right? You're gonna need patience, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen if you try to rush it. If you try to rush it, you may end up having to do it again next year. What I like to do, I don't run around telling everybody that I said this, right? And you know, the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, ironically. But what I like to do is I like to handle all my business in January for the at the top of the year. January or February at the top of the year. Why? Top or the neck of the year, right? Why? Because at that time, right? At that time, it's the easiest to get your business fixed for the rest of the year. I got my passport in January, right? In mid-January, if I'm not mistaken. But I got my passport in mid-January. Why? Because around mid-January, that is why. Because I wanted to make sure that I got all my business fixed for the year so that I can celebrate for the year. My business is fixed. All my paperwork, all of the doctor visit, all of that fixed for the year. All I need to do is just make sure that I don't do anything too stupid to get myself jammed up, right? So stuff like that. Let's clarify the Six of Pentacles, right? So you could end up handling your business in January or February, and it's the easiest to get your business fixed in January or February. Why? Because by the time spring roll around, everybody is outside. When it's January and February, everybody up in the house, which means that there's less lines to actually go handle your business, for one. Number two, in January and February, that's when things start moving again for the year, up until November and December again, right? With all the paperwork and business transactions and all that other type of stuff around mid-January through February, because now everybody's getting back in the swing of actually handling their business. They've been off for a couple of weeks, right? Collectively, when you add it all up, due to the fact that you got, like I said, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all of that. So let's clarify the Six of Pentacles. Over here on this channel, we strive for real solutions, not some fake stuff. Because now the tarot reading community is starting to get laughed at a little bit because we're not taken seriously, because some goofy individuals is getting up on TikTok talking about how tarot readers told them, basically in a public YouTube video, about curses and stuff like that. And these is people who have millions of you gotta love it, fam. You gotta love it. Ten of Pentacles, the Judgment, the Hanged Man, the Hierophant, and then you have the World card. You already got the Hanged Man. I've talked about it. The Ten of Swords, the Judgment, and the Hanged Man, like it is that I said before. So, things will be ruled in your favor. Things will essentially go through, like I said before. It's just essentially a waiting game. The Hierophant and the World card just have to wait. That's it. Just wait. All your business transactions that you Leos want to get done, it will get done. But regardless of if it gets done soon after you watch this video or next year, right? It probably will start to get the move next year more than likely. But just still be on the lookout though for it though. Just be patient with it. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm at 16,225 subs. We're right there. We're pushing 20,000 subscribers. That's wild. I always knew that we could get here, yo. I always knew that we could get here. Let's see if we could push that and go beyond that. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.